I spoke too soon about good old Colin. What do I mean about that? Well, the other day I brought Colin Flaherty and Ann Coulter's attention to a number of tweets I made and my video regarding the excessive gang activity in the United States military. Two authors that write on these topics regularly, and I said one or the both of you, I'm paraphrasing, I didn't say exactly this, one or the both of you in collaboration or singularly should do a book on this. Because this is a severe problem. Now, Anne didn't say anything snarky or anything like that, but Colin wanted me to know that I should be coherent. To which I replied to him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have offended the great one, that could organize white people, that could spend his time working to better organize a political bulwark against radical, crazy black supremacy in the country with his sway, with how many people look up to him." But no, he doesn't look for answers. He just points out the fact that stuff is happening. That's his thing. He points these things out. Yes, it's great. Yes, it's convenient. But no, for those of us that have been involved in, this type of outlook for a while, we don't need some elderly Irishman that smokes a cigar and talks about the lovely ladies and the fellas. We don't need that. We know what's going on. Now, did he bring anybody else into the fold? Probably not. I would almost guarantee the people that watch Colin Flaherty's videos had the same opinion and knew what was going on before they watched the videos, before they read the books. They knew what was up, and they bought the book to corroborate what they already knew. That's what I believe. I don't believe he's brought anybody new into the fold. Colin is the perfect neocon. He is the idea that a neocon is a liberal that got mugged. That's literally what Colin is, except he didn't get mugged physically. He got mugged intellectually. He used to be a liberal reporter, okay? And in many ways he still is. If you look at his shock and outrage, his shock and horror, it's always about the blacks attacking the Asians, the blacks attacking the Hispanics, the blacks attacking the Jews. Oh, the shock and horror. He does not try to unify white people, politically or otherwise, or even talk about white people as a specific group. He has stated in a number of his older videos that are probably taken down, if he sees white supremacists in the comment sections, he gets rid of them. Now, the thing is, the problem with this is, as I said originally when he blocked me on Twitter, which, by the way, he blocked me again because I made fun of him for being a goofball, okay? The thing is, the reason he originally blocked me was because I had stated to President Trump, at the time it was President Trump, that President Trump needed to fire people like Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner and Omarosa, and all these other, these bloodthirsty Zionists and black supremacists that he had working for him, that were putting him in connection with Kanye West, and now you got Caitlyn Jenner involved, and all these radical liberal lunatics that were basically, again, it's neoconservatism. It's liberals that are taking advantage of conservative idiots to get into power and then pass ridiculous liberal legislation. And Colin is just like that. I mean, that is the honest truth. He might be a little bit more sober-minded than, say, Donald Trump or Ivanka Trump or Jared Kushner or these people, but really, are these people not sober-minded? Or are they taking advantage of the stupidity and idiocy of the average conservative to get into power and then pass radical legislation? For example, Donald Trump was the most anti-gun president we have ever had. He passed the most legislation against Second Amendment rights out of any president we've ever had. Okay? So, what my point is, or at least without any decent reason to do so, His reason was baloney. And then, of course, you have the other radical leftist nonsense, the crime reforms that he did, between letting people out of prison with the First Step Act and then Trump's kneeling to BLM by handicapping the police with legislation, making it harder for police to arrest people, making it harder for police to shoot into moving vehicles when the offender is trying to use the vehicle to attack the police. This crazy, liberal, loony-toony nonsense is the kind of crap that comes out of neoconservatives. These are not what you would call conservatives. This is the mindset of Colin Flaherty. This is why Colin Flaherty got offended when I told President Trump that President Trump needs to read the works of Colin Flaherty and David Duke, in which he said that if I put his name together with David Duke, I was his enemy. Okay? The facts are the facts. David Duke is not a white supremacist by any stretch of the imagination to anybody that follows his work. Okay? What David Duke is a U.S. nationalist, more or less a paleoconservative, I would say. He's more or less a conservative, basically a conservative Southern Democrat that became a Republican, won office as a Republican, is more of a Republican than Donald Trump, is more of a Republican than a lot of these loons that are pretending to be Republicans now. And the fact of the matter is, that's what's going on, is you have Colin, who's a neoconservative that can't wrap his head around this. The other thing with Colin is he thinks that we owe him something. That somehow the white people that have read his books and that have watched his videos, that have corroborated what we already know, somehow we owe him something. He's not one of us, but we somehow owe him something. And that's the thing, is he blocked me because I offended him. I offended him by explaining that what he should be doing is working to organize white people, or at the very least, I didn't say this, but at the very least he should be working to help form legislation with his sway. A lot of people like Colin, a lot of people are drawn to Colin, and like David Duke. David Duke has responsibly, same thing with Patrick Buchanan, even Ann Coulter. These people have responsibly used the sway they have had to bring attention to things. Colin doesn't. Colin just throws it out there and leaves it. And then he gets offended if somebody says something about something. Now, I don't know why Colin was offended by me so badly, probably because he's a frickin' idiot. Or maybe all those cigars got to his brain, I don't know which. Maybe he was drunk at the time and smoking too many cigars, I don't know. At one of the predominantly black cigar bars he goes to. Maybe that's why he doesn't like, because he's mentioned that he goes to predominantly black cigar bars to enjoy a cigar with the fellas. Now, the thing is, maybe that's it. Maybe he doesn't want to give up his liberal clique that he had since he was younger. I don't know. My point is that people that get offended, and this is what's funny, I'm going to have all these comments, because people aren't going to watch this video, I'm going to have all these comments telling me things like, you can say what you want about Colin, but he tells the truth. Never said he didn't tell the truth. You can say what you want about Colin, but he's the one putting himself at risk by telling the truth. Never said he didn't tell the truth. Wah, 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 wah. From all the people that are going to see the title of this video, not watching the video, not understanding what I'm saying, not understanding that Colin isn't really doing jack shit, he's just talking. He's not even really talking, he's just putting information out there that he's doing nothing with. He's not encouraging anybody to do anything with it. And if you use that information to try and draw attention to something important, then he gets offended. That's why I'm making this video. That's why he's a hypocrite. That's why he's a coward. That's why he's a neocon that used to be a liberal that got intellectually raped